This industry we're in is an industry of enough.
Yeah.
Good enough, hood enough,
Yeah.
this enough, that enough,
yeah.
black enough.
I just remember I am enough, and also I cannot please everyone.
And then when I realized that none of that matters anyway, like literally Neo, like there is no spoon.
Yeah.
Like you can do whatever you want.
Persistence, determination, realism, and wanting success more than your next breath.
You know, you're a creative. Like just because you might not necessarily make music, what does that have to do with like I wouldn't be rapping if it wasn't for Quentin Tarantino.
You can't stand out and fit in at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds like I'm talking to the listener, but really, I didn't have anybody there to tell me that. So when I was writing those songs, I was really kind of telling me that.
Hello, artists, I have something for you. Art support.
This industry we're in is an industry of enough.
Yeah.
Good enough, hood enough,
Yeah.
this enough,
Black
that enough,
yeah.
black enough, da-da-da. And he and Big Boy said, you are enough.
You know, on my journey to self-acceptance, which I've really kind of hit the peak of at the end of my 20s, and they say you kind of find yourself in your 20s and you're kind of more comfortable in your 30s. He called me Logic. He was like, Logic, this is a game of enough. Entertainment is about enough, not cool enough, black enough, hip enough, hard enough, rough enough, rich enough, handsome enough. He was like, you're enough. So regardless of people's perception of me, whether they think I'm too anxious, too this, too that, too whatever, I just remember I am enough. And also I cannot please everyone.
That's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to rap, have fun, not overthink it, and do my thing. You know, you're a creative. Like just because you might not necessarily make music, what does that have to do with like I wouldn't be rapping if it wasn't for Quentin Tarantino. He's a director.
Like that's what's really wild to me. It's like why young people care so much to be accepted. Like you can't stand out and fit in at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I took the vinyl, put it on my record player, ran that through my Ableton and my vintage MPC 60, and then just literally made beats, wrote raps, didn't overthink it, had fun, put it on wax, next, and we got 30 tracks on the album.
You know, I love to make fun music, all types of hip hop and, you know, even like over trap beats. And I always thought it was something more like that, you know, like a more fun or clubby or happy or kind of vibe that would, you know, get me on that stage. And so I can't believe that I made a song that I never thought would ever do any of that, just from a place in my heart, strictly for my fans and anybody it could reach. And the fact that it actually reached them it's crazy. I mean, I won. That's how I feel. This is insane.
One of the greatest sayings I've ever heard about chess, and it's how I feel about life and creativity.
Okay.
You can't beat chess. It's a game you can't beat. And so it's like I had this idea of, wow, what could I do creatively? Like, what's the wildest different thing? And then once you know what it is, then you structure it.
The internet, social media, perception, and hip hop, like all this stuff that I didn't want to be a part of anymore. And then when I realized that none of that matters anyway, like literally Neo, like there is no spoon.
Yeah.
Like you can do whatever you want.
Alan Watts, philosopher, says anything you can be interested in, you'll find others who are. Why not? Why not do something that's fun? And I'm so used to having all this pressure on my shoulders. It's kind of cool to really be able to like share this. I'm so happy I'm me, man. And I used to not want to be me. I wanted to be K-Dot, because who doesn't want to be K-Dot, you know? I wanted to be Drake. I wanted to be Cole. I wanted to be all these people.
Because I wanted this shit all my life till I finally got it and realized there's so much more to life. I used to dream I'd become the fucking man I am. We're so brainwashed by not only social media, but entertainment and media in general, that if you got to go work a 9 to 5 and you love video games, at least you have something in your life that you love and appreciate. And if you would love to be able to work on video games for a living, figure it out.
Yeah.
You can do it. I made it happen because I wanted it so bad. But I looked at it, I always say, with, you know, persistence, determination, realism, and wanting success more than your next breath.
Whatever you want in life, you should want it like you want your next breath. Persistence, determination, realism, and wanting success more than your next breath truly is the key to success.
When I dropped my indie rock album, I felt like a horrible failure because everyone was like, this sucks. And now it's like a cult classic in my fan base.
Yeah.
So it's like in the moment, even if I had failed, It's like one of my most revered.
People are much more than just a degree, especially if they're truly a person of their craft.
I came a long way from where you was, up and comer with the buzz, overcame selling drugs, overcame depression, even overcame addiction, and had the courage to say what others wouldn't with conviction. I'm always in the kitchen, never mind who be bitching. I saw a kid with no smile on his face today. Where is my place in this bright future? I heard him say, I am that kid.
But I think I was also leaving for the wrong reasons. And I think in many ways I was like trying to run away from stuff when I realized like there's nothing to run away from. I just don't have to partake in,
don't have
in
to
the
engage.
BS of the industry. In therapy, you know, learning more about myself and how to better myself as a man, a husband, a father. Like that's what I was doing.
Like having success is great. It's awesome. It's an honor. But for how long, bro? It's like work on you. And now, like I can't tell you how there's times I just feel like a fraud. So I think the thing that really changed me is when I had the insane panic attack in line to go see the Star Wars movie in 2015. And I was 25 years old and it felt like an elephant was on my chest and I'm like puking and like freaking out. It fucked me up so bad. It scared me. I think the biggest tool is rest, like true rest, being off your phone and finding the source of your anxiety. I believe that when we're born, there's doors, man, an infinite amount of doors. I know this sounds crazy, but this is just like what I believe. There's an infinite amount of doors and you open one door and there's an infinite amount of more doors.
Growing up and even being, you know, when I was like 12 years old, like you, I dealt with so much in the household. Unfortunately, my parents, it wasn't the best living situation and, you know, family members on drugs and different things like that. And it was hard to see it. And using a creative outlet, whether I was writing short stories or even kind of writing lyrics and music, I would always have these lyrics. I would be like, oh, you know, stay positive. Like you could do it. You know, things will get better. Things will get better. And it sounds like I'm talking to the listener, but really I didn't have anybody there to tell me that. So when I was writing those songs, I was really kind of telling me that communication is the most important thing in the whole world. So I would tell my friends how I felt. I would tell, you know, if it was my girlfriend at the time or whatever, I would always tell them how I'm feeling and what I'm going through. No matter how happy your family is, if you're not happy, then you have to be happy no matter what. And my son and my wife, they mean everything to me. But like, I also love music. It's a form of, like I said, therapy.
And I'm just going to have a blast. I'm going to have a lot of fun. But I will always continue to represent peace, love, and positivity and fight for equality, period. Surprised my fans and just showed up at their houses to play them this album that wasn't out yet. And so many of the people, they would say things like, you saved my life. And in my mind, I'm like, I saved your life? Like, I was just trying to just turn up and have some fun with a message in it. But the fact that I could save a life and I wasn't even trying to, I had to ask myself, with this power that I've been blessed to have as a musician and an artist, what if I actually tried to do it? And that's why I made this song, 1-800.
When you talk about how can that trauma transfer, it's like, well, that trauma was on me. And then I was like, it's okay, Bobby, basically, without saying my name on the record, you'll be okay. But then the fans heard a voice telling them they're going to be okay.
That was their message.
And then I heard their voice back to me saying, you saved my life. And then I heard a voice in my head that was like, you haven't even tried.
You know, when I write those things down, I'm talking from my perspective, but it makes me feel even better to know that there's other people out there who feel the exact same way, and that in a way that I could help them. So it's awesome. Down and meeting other people, and they're like, yo, when you said this, like, it made me feel good, or it made me feel like I could go get my job or do better in school or XYZ. And I was like, wow, this is deeper than just, you know, kind of a selfish thing that I was doing for my own mental health and happiness.